I would like to welcome you this day to the Kingdom Business Network. This is a program that helps you to run a successful business. We come to your home, we try to equip you with skills from these talk shows, whereby you're able to then start to run a successful business from the tips that we give you. So we are here today to discuss about wealth creation, and I have some panelists who are very well conversant with business. And today we'll be discussing about taking your business idea from dreams to reality. So the topic today is wealth creation from dreams to reality. And on my immediate left is Mr. Michael Waithaka. Mr. Michael, just want you to introduce yourself and just welcome the viewer also.
My name is Michael Waithaka, and I run a business called Exalted Honey Investments Limited. And viewer, we welcome you to this show.
So how has business been this week?
It's been well, but obviously with some few challenges. Yeah, but gradually we have had a good week.
How has been the business from a global point of view in Kenya?
Business has been quite challenging in our country because there are many challenges at the moment.
Okay.
Starting from the cost of raw materials going up, the devaluation of the Kenya shilling, the taxation regime that we're having at the moment. So the cost of business has been quite high.
Is there hope?
There's a lot of hope.
There's a lot of hope.
There's a lot of hope.
Dear viewer, there might be a lot of challenges, but there is hope. And on my immediate right is Enoch. Enoch, welcome. Maybe you can introduce yourself to the viewer.
Thank you so much, Bishop. God bless you. My name is Enoch Chitonde Chija. I'm from Uganda, but currently here in Kenya. I come from House of Faith, and it's a blessing to be part of this panel today. I am excited about the topic we are going to discuss today, having a dream come true, and it's an exciting time for the young people. I am really excited, and I can't wait to see how my dream, my vision can come to fruition with a kingdom mindset. So yes, I'm very excited, Bishop.
So how do you find business in Kenya?
A business in Kenya is very exciting. I see a lot of energy. People work so hard. People are so fast. They are so fast, literally. When you come to Kenya, even if you are in a mode of inactivity, by just a mere look at other people moving around, working out, you know, you just get excited and in the mode of working. So I love the spirit here.
Okay.
Yes.
I've always wanted to ask you a question.
Yes.
Allow me to ask you today as
Sure.
we introduce ourselves to the viewer. What prompted you to come from Uganda to Kenya? We might be seeing something that the Kenyans are not seeing.
Surely. And that is very exciting, a question. When I came to Kenya, I think it was God who made a way for me, because the company I'm working for, Digital Adverts Limited, it's a company that is into the digital space, marketing and giving value to business owners. So when we started it in Uganda, we were experiencing some growth. But when we had the Kenyan come on board, it was very exciting because Kenya is literally a digital hub, you know? Everything digital, internet, you guys have embraced it earlier than us. So when I came to Kenya, I saw a platform where we could grow faster, you know, help more businesses, but also learn. Because my earlier months of doing business here, we are more into research, learning how people do business here. And I must tell you, Kenya is on another level. The way you guys are appreciating, the way you adapted to the digital landscape, digitalization is on another level. You know, everything is digitalized today. The government to access the services, you know, it was not easy for us in Uganda. So Kenya has been very exciting. And when we started business here, the people it was not really hard for us to sell our idea to business owners here, because at least they had a background and they knew the impact what the digitalization can do. So it's a great experience.
So I think from what you're saying, I can pick a few things. And one of the things is that an outsider is looking into Kenya and seeing a lot of opportunities. And that's a challenge to you, my viewer, that there's somebody outside the country who is looking at Kenya as a very good growth opportunity, and is one of the cases that we can actually talk about.
Yeah.
And he's come from Uganda, come into Kenya,
Yeah.
because he's seeing business opportunities. So my challenge to you is don't get overwhelmed by what is happening, because if an outsider can see business opportunity, what about you as somebody who's already in the country? There's still a lot of opportunities. You just need to change your mindset, to equip yourself with the right skills, to explore the opportunities which are available, and you'll be able to move your business to the next level. Coming from last week, we had Michael Waithaka. And Michael, we discussed a lot about your business. You introduced yourself to us,
Yes.
and to the viewers.
Yeah.
And today we want to take it from where we left last week.
Yes.
And what I would ask you to do is just to give a small recap of how you started, and then we'll pick it up from there.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Mugai, and it's a pleasure to have me on this show. Last week, we discussed about how I started the business, and for about 29 years I was in employment, and about 4 years ago, that's when I decided to leave employment and got into the cleaning and hygiene business, which I had done for about 21 years at one of the major cleaning and hygiene chemical providers. And so currently the business I do is provision of cleaning and hygiene chemicals to hotels, institutions, and food manufacturing companies.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that is the business that I am currently doing, and alongside that I also provide adhesives. So that the business name is Exalted Horn Investments. Yeah.
Yeah, today we are talking about dreams.
Yes.
What was a dream, and how did you realize, start the journey of realizing that dream?
I think having been in the chemical, first, before I even got into the chemicals business, I had a desire to get into sales and marketing, and from an inspiration from one of my mentors who was ahead of me, and so I all along, even in employment, I was desiring to get into the chemicals business and selling chemicals. And so when I got this opportunity to be on my own, when I felt that is the time to leave employment and get into my own business, then what was in me was marketing and sales of cleaning and hygiene products and other allied chemicals. And so that's what drove me. Having seen somebody who had succeeded in sales and marketing, and he was making it in life, I decided I would also want to do that when I got an opportunity. That's what drove me.
So can we say that you've already started to live your dream as far as business is concerned?
Yes,
Okay.
I have started living my dream. I may not be, I have started, yes. Yeah.
So the key here is to get started.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Enoch,
Yes.
what do you have to say about getting started to the journey of realizing your dream in wealth creation?
Well, thank you so much, Bishop. I believe starting is very key. What limits most people is the ability to get started, and all you need is to start. There's a statement that goes, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So until you take your step forward, maybe the dream will not unfold clearly. I think that is why when you look at the scriptures, the Bible says, Habakkuk 2:2, write your vision on paper, write your vision on tablets, so that whoever will see it will run away. I think God wanted us to take a step, because when you write down the dream, you break it down, it becomes easy. Sometimes the dream becomes too much. I believe Bishop Waithaka will also tell us it was not easy when God gave him that idea, but when he went ahead and wrote it down, you began seeing ways out. You broke it down, you got the goals right, you set the smart steps for you to achieve that, and there you went. So I believe starting is what limits most people, and such programs here are set to help us get started on this journey. Because until you start, nothing will happen.
Until you start, nothing will happen.
Yes.
So viewer, please get started. If you have a dream and you know it's the right time, and you have prepared, please get started. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. There are lots of people with business ideas, but they don't bring them to reality.
Yes.
They don't even get started. Someone like Miles Monroe said, the graveyard is where you have the richest people, or the richest wealth is at the graveyard. Why? Yes. Because there are a lot of ideas that never saw the light of day. So I would like to encourage you, my viewer, please get started.
And I would want to add, Dr. Mungai, it's really not about the external environment, because there is a lot that will be happening in the environment. But so long as I have a dream in my heart, whether it is the corona time, or whether the economy is low, or whatever it is, whether your finances are down, the most important thing is for you to have a dream. So when you have that dream, launch, and God being with you, you'll be able to succeed.
Is there any time the environment has been good?
No time.
You see, I'm asking that because I know we've worked with you.
Yes.
And if I flash back 20 years,
yes,
I think we always had, things were always tough.
They were always tough.
I don't know how that is, but I can tell you
yes.
for sure, for the last 20 years, we
yes.
worked with you in some place,
yes.
and it was always running on our toes.
Yes.
It was always difficult.
Yes.
I don't know whether Enoch, you have that feeling that yes. there's no single time a business will say that this year is easy. Yeah. It always appears that every time things are difficult.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, when things are still difficult, there are still people who are still making it,
yes.
despite that difficult environment.
Yes. yes.
Do you have the same feeling, or
yes.
is it just me who is thinking that way?
I really do, because you must face your fears, you must face these challenges, because without a test there is no testimony. And for us who have the scriptures, God has loaded us with so much. I believe this is now the time. For example, believers who are following this program, is the time now to put scriptures into reality. Because most people just read the Bible, and after church, that is it. They now don't get to the next side or step to apply what they have learned. God has really given us the power. Actually, the Bible says he gives us the power to make wealth.
Yes.
You have that scripture, but you still have the fear to start. Yet as he tells Abraham, leave your fathers, go to a place where I will show you. So until Abraham probably sets his first step and course, everything seemed impossible. Impossible. But look at what he's able to achieve right now. You know, there's so much. So faith to be into reality, there has to be your involvement as a believer to take a step forward. Business is the way to go. And as a kingdom builder, you have to start somewhere. The other day, I can't forget this. It's Bishop Kingori who said it. If you are to climb a tree, you don't climb from up, you climb from down.
Yes.
So everything has a start and a stop. So God, I believe, he unveils to you the entire picture or plan when you start. But when you stay static in one place, nothing will happen. And of course, there will always be challenges. Yes.
In fact, the scriptures challenge us that he who watches the wind does not sow, and he who watches the clouds does not reap. So there is no one time that the environment is going to be suitable for us to start.
Absolutely.
But it's a question of having your dream and moving on, trusting God, and God is able to cause is able to bless the work of our hands.
Absolutely.
Actually, looking at the parable of the talents, there's a man who was given 1 talent, another one was given 3, and I think the other one was given 5.
Yes.
The one with 3 and 5 decided to go and put it to work. In other words, he got started.
Yes.
But the one who had 1, what did he do? He never got started.
No.
He never got started.
No.
And because he never got started, why did he not get started? He had a lot of excuses.
Yes.
One of the excuses was, my master is a hard man who wants to reap where he did not sow. So him is so a difficult business environment.
Yes.
He's dealing with the people who want to reap where they never sowed.
Yes.
And because of that, he never got started. He never put his 1 talent into business.
Right.
And because of that, when the master came, and this is like where the time of the multiplication of harvest, because when he came, remember what he did to them. The one with 3 was given 3 more. The one with 5 was given 5 more.
Yes.
Yeah? This guy, because he had done nothing, he got nothing.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So From that, what I learned is when you get started,
Yes.
you are actually putting your talent to work.
True.
When there is a change in the economic environment,
Yes.
it is going to affect positively
Yes.
the people who have started to do something.
True.
If you did nothing,
Yes.
nothing times a million is still nothing.
Nothing.
True.
So 0 times a million is
Is zero.
nothing, zero. But you have go to 2 or 3,
Yeah.
you multiply a million, then you
Yes.
have 2 million.
True.
You see?
Yes.
So once you get started, then when the environment changes,
Yes.
and things become easier,
Right.
then you are the people who benefit.
Yes.
But I also want to ask you, what is it that when you get started,
Yeah.
the things which were looking very, very difficult,
Yes.
all of a sudden things start getting easy? Might be in your journey. Can you tell us, yes, we heard about how you started.
Yes.
But after you started, the things become easier relatively, or
Yes.
did they become harder? What's your experience?
After I started,
Yes.
when I was starting off, at the moment I was starting off, things seemed a bit difficult.
At the point of starting.
At the point of starting.
Yes.
But immediately I broke through that gate, things became easier because I was able to get referrals. I was able to visit people that I already knew. I was able to realize that there are even people that I had worked with before that were willing to support me. I was able to get some contacts even from people who had that I started business and were giving me or making calls to me and telling me that there are opportunities. And so after I started, things became a bit easier because I was able to do more. So it's just like when a vehicle is parked. When a vehicle is parked, it is immovable and it is stationary and nothing is happening to it. It is important for the vehicle the engine to be put on, to be ignited, to be allowed for a few minutes to heat up, and after that the vehicle starts moving. So what was very difficult for the vehicle at the beginning, now as the vehicle starts moving, even when you do not accelerate, it gains some momentum. It can even start moving on its own, and that's exactly what it is in terms of business. So it seemed to be very difficult before, when you are starting off, immediately you start, the things that you used to be difficult become much easier. And not that they become much easier, because you have the courage to confront any hindrance, and you're able to move on. Yeah.
So you started with one customer.
Yes.
How did you move? I hear you say that you were able to move from one customer to many more customers because of referrals.
Yes.
How was it getting your first customer and moving to your 10th customer?
From my first customer, I started going just knocking doors. I would say just knocking doors.
Knocking doors.
Yes.
Okay.
From the beginning to get my first client. In fact, I started selling very basic items at the initial step. But as I moved on, I moved on from supplying a few clients to many more, because I had the courage to now start approaching bigger prospects, because I found after succeeding in the first few, I had the courage to move on and approach bigger clients. And that's how my number has continued growing. After I started providing service to the bigger ones, they were able to even some of them were able to even tell their colleagues, or other prospective clients who were in the same industry. And that's how my client base has increased from one to a number of clients up to where I am now.
A business is successful because of customers.
Yes.
And what I hear you saying is that once you started the business, you got your first customer,
Yes.
you are selling few products,
Yes.
and then you started knocking doors from one door to another.
Yes.
And the Bible, and this is very biblical, because the Bible says, ask and shall be given unto you, seek and you shall find, knock and shall be opened unto you.
Yes.
For whoever asks receives, whoever seeks finds, whoever knocks, the door is opened for him.
Yes.
So I hear you say that you started knocking doors.
Yes.
And doors started to open.
Right.
You can never open a door until it is You knock
You
it.
knock it.
You have to knock the door.
Yes.
So that somebody inside the house opens the door.
Right.
And this is very key. My viewer who is in the process of getting started. You have to knock a door.
Yes.
If you don't knock it, you have no business having somebody open door that you didn't knock.
No.
You have to seek something.
Yes.
Until you seek, you can't find.
Yes.
You have to ask. And you cannot get before you ask.
No, you can't.
And that's a very, very important trick.
Yes.
Because a lot of people stay with their business ideas and they fear starting.
Yes.
Yet you cannot move from idea to reality, from the dream to reality, until you practice these biblical steps or principles.
Yes.
Ask, seek, knock.
And knock.
Because that's when you start to get that.
Right.
And I hear you say that then you started with your small customers.
Yes.
And then you got the confidence to go for bigger customers.
Yes.
How was it like to get your first big customer?
Oh, it was very exciting. It was very exciting. In fact, I was able to share this with some of my business friends and and even with my bishop. I shared with him.
Yes.
And I even told him how God is faithful. That now I've been able to move from clients giving me businesses worth hundreds or a few thousands to hundreds of thousands. And I was now headed into millions, getting orders worth millions. Millions. And so it was very exciting.
From hundreds to getting a client who is giving you millions.
Yes.
You see, this is very interesting and very remarkable that you can actually move from a business where you're getting hundreds from customers, those are small customers,
Small customers.
to millions.
Yes.
It happened.
Yeah.
And it is going to happen to my viewer. Now, Enoch, this journey of getting your first 10 customers, how was it?
The journey of getting my first 10 customers was not that obvious. Of course, I had to step out. For example, when I came to Kenya, I was determined. I knew I was coming in a foreign land. I knew there could be challenges that I have to face, but I had the confidence in me that greater is He that is in me than he that is in the world. So it helped me. I knew I would win. I had that mindset already. So when I came, of course, I had a contact, a Kenyan, who helped us. We started in Nairobi, you know, with a few members of his family. They bought our idea, and before you know it, they connected us to other business people. I actually traveled most of the parts of Kenya. When I came into Kenya, people would invite me, Kisii, please come, you know. People would invite me in Nyanza, please come. I went as far as Migori. Okay. That is the border of, is it Tanzania and
Kenya?
And Kenya.
Yes.
I have been there. To the coast, I've been there. But it's one client who refers you to another, who refers you to another.
Right.
And then you see you build a very big empire.
Yeah.
So I think there is power in starting.
Yes.
In fact, to add on, a man of God, the other day you told us your story and I was really excited, very excited. You know, when someone thinks of a cleaning company, we think of liquid soap. All we think is, the bishop is selling liquid soap and that is all.
Yes.
But when you hear what you have diversified into, selling the PPEs, these gadgets, protective equipment, you know, so much that when someone is still limited to just one thing, thinks he can do one thing, you know, for you are diversifying and then serving broader markets. But I think all that started with your first client who also gave you ideas. Why don't you do this? Why don't you introduce this? And that is how you're able to build that very big empire. That's what I can. Yes.
And I go to add Dr. Mugai. Once you start off and you started now serving your first client, when you start serving your first client, you get to see opportunities. And at times, even the client may even tell you, in addition to giving me this product A, I also need product B. Would you stock product B? Or you yourself, you are able to identify that if I got, instead of giving my client one product, I can give them 2 or 3 products for purposes of increasing the profitability of my visit to the client. And so going out is the key.
Yes.
Because when after going out, then we are able to get so much. Here we're talking about you identifying opportunities, the client also helping you identify opportunities, and just like Enoch said, the client referring you even to their own contacts, effortlessly.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've raised a very, very important issue, and maybe we can pick this before we go for a short break. You've raised a very important issue, and the issue here is when you get started, all of a sudden you start to be taken into different directions.
Yes.
Either by the customer or by using opportunities which prop up.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about this? Are these different revenue streams, or are they just different product lines, or is it different markets, or what are they in the totality of it?
They could be different products. They could be different products. For instance, here I am maybe giving a client a product for general cleaning, cleaning the floor.
Yes. And
I noticed that that floor is also, they have a cooker that is greasy, that requires a degreaser. Then I also realized that maybe they have a stained window glass that requires a specific window glass cleaner. So these are opportunities that I identify myself. So it may be product related, or it could be other products that are not related to what I'm currently selling. It may be chemicals, or it may be a different line of products, say personal protective equipment, which the client is using. Maybe the client is buying the personal protective equipment, gloves, dust coats, and overalls for safety shoes from someone else. And so I can identify that instead of I allowing somebody else to come into the account. Why don't I make that offering? So it could be product related, or it could be a different revenue stream altogether. But what the caveat is, it's important for me to ensure that I don't get out of my business 100%, so that, because that again may have other implications, because I still want to focus on my main business. Yeah.
So you want to focus on your main business and not get out of it. Okay.
I don't want to start supplying, for example, electrical goods. I don't want to start supplying engineering spares, because I'm not an engineer.
Yes.
But products that I do well understand and I can readily supply, that there's no problem.
So before we take this break, I hear you say that it's very important when you're getting started, especially when it's a young business, to stick to your line of business.
Yes.
You can grow within that line, increase product line, get to different range of your products, and stick there for some time.
Yes.
Although I know there is also a business strategy known as diversification.
Yes.
And might be after the break we are going to discuss about diversification.
Yes.
Which is basically then has to be done intentionally.
Yes.
Not just cropping without plan.
Right.
So with that, my dear viewer, we'll take a short break and we'll be back. God bless.
The Happy Life mission is supported by 3 pillars: rescue mission for the most vulnerable, quality Christian education, and lastly, first-class comprehensive medical care. Under the rescue mission is the Happy Life Children's Home.
Well, in the year 2002, we decided we want to jump in, we want to go and begin to help these children. Well, little did we know the need was even greater than we thought. There were 5, there were 10, there were 20, there were 100, 200, and now we are talking of close to 1,000 children that have been rescued through Happy Life Children's Home.
The Happy Life mission, first and foremost, started as Happy Life Children's Home, and I want to tell you that in the 20 years that we have rescued.
When you start off the business, because first you develop a relationship, and relationships are what drives the businesses.
Okay.
So once you've developed a relationship, and the client now is willing, he knows the kind of person that you are, he knows the value that you're creating for them. So they open up. They may have a different business or another business located elsewhere. They may have a branch. They may refer you to another client because now you have already formed a relationship with them. So they can tell you that instead of you just providing you with this service or product, why don't you also provide you with the other? Because they started identifying you as a solution provider, and they start seeing the value that you are creating out of the relationship that you've had, and that's why it's also very important for you to make sure that you are reliable. You can be relied on by the client. If you can be able to do, for instance, more things for the client, instead of the client having other providers come to see them, then it will be better for them. And so that's how now your business continues growing. Maybe it's in additional products in the specific area of application that you are giving him, or maybe other areas that are different to what you are already giving him, because it will be easier for them administratively to deal with one supplier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would I be right to say that when you're moving from dreams to reality in your business,
yes,
that after you get started and you start to interact with the customers, you start to do your business, would I be right to say that your business then takes a life of its own? And if I'm right, the next question I would want to ask you, how do you guard yourself to ensure that you stick to your original vision and still stick to the original idea, but at the same time continue to grow and to be profitable?
You have to be very focused. You have to be very focused. You have to ensure that the pillars that you've established in your business are working.
Okay.
You must always make sure that you are monitoring your costs on a day-to-day basis.
Okay.
You must also make sure that you are looking at your profits. You must look at your margins.
Okay.
You must be on top of looking at the entire business costs.
Okay.
You must also be looking at the business environment that you are working under, and what impact this business environment is in fact impacting on your business, so that even as you grow, your original goal of your business is not taken care, is not washed away by your growth momentum. You must be very careful. You must keep your eyes very focused on the bare essentials, the pillars of your business. Yeah.
So in this journey of business growth,
yes,
you can grow in terms of products.
Yes.
You can grow in terms of markets.
Yes.
Have you had instances whereby might be you started after starting your business, you thought you're going to serve a particular geographical market?
Yes.
But then out of nowhere, out of customer interaction, and we are not talking about a planned strategy.
Yes.
We've not reached there.
Yes.
We're just talking about organic growth, whereby all of a sudden, in the course of interaction with your customers, you now find yourself going to markets, geographical markets, that you never thought about when you started. Has
Yes.
it happened, and give us an example?
Yeah, it has happened. And really, what I would want to say is a business is driven by the client, by the customer.
Driven by the client.
It's driven by the client. Because previously it was seller driven, but now being customer driven, I've had an experience whereby I'm able to I've sold products to markets, geographical markets that I didn't think that would happen, and I've gradually served those markets, because what is very important to a business is the customer, just like you said before, because it's the customer who retains who makes sure that the business stands. Otherwise, without the customer, the business cannot stand. And so I've really been able to serve. For instance, I thought I would only serve, when I started off, clients within Nairobi area, but I've been able to have clients outside Nairobi, Kisumu, ones in Ahweo, Rift Valley, and Central Kenya, and even ones in Ahweo, Mombasa. So that has happened, and because my business is a marketing business, and it is there to provide solutions. And so when a business has been established to provide solutions,